Part 17, the Magic East System. Read my way. The kind of deity which a man consciously or unconsciously worships indicates the intellectual status of the worshipper. Ask the Indian of God, and he will describe to you a powerful chieftain of a glorious tribe. I don't know if that's true. Ask the pagan of God, and he will tell you of a god of fire, a god of water, a god of this, that, and other. Don't know if that's true either. Ask the Israelite of God, and he will tell you of the God of Moses, who conceived it expedient to rule by coercive measures, hence the Ten Commandments. Or of Joshua, who led the Israelites into battle, confiscated property, murdered the prisoners, and laid waste to the cities. That's in the Bible. The so-called heathen made graven images of other gods whom they were accustomed to worship, but among the most intelligent, at least these images were but the visible fulcrums with which they were enabled to mentally concentrate on the qualities with which they desired to externalize in their lives, We of the 20th century worship a God of love in theory, but in practice we make for ourselves graven images of wealth, power, fashion, custom, and conventionality. We fall down before them and worship them. We concentrate on them, and they are thereby externalizing our lives. The students, I don't know what he talking about. That ain't me. Anyway, the student who masters the contents of Part 17 would not mistake the symbols for the reality. He will be interested in causes rather than effects. Right on. He will concentrate on the realities of life and will then not be disappointed in the results. 1. We are told that man has dominion over all things. This dominion is established through mind. Thought is the activity which controls every principle beneath it. The highest principle, by reason of its superior essence and qualities, necessarily determines the circumstances, aspects, and relation of everything with which it comes in contact. 2. The vibrations of mental forces are the finest and consequently the most powerful in existence. To those who perceive the nature and transcendency of mental force, all physical power sinks into insignificance. 3. We are accustomed to look upon the universe with a lens of five senses, and from these experiences our anthropomorphic conceptions originate, but true conceptions are only secured by spiritual insight. This insight requires a quickening of the vibrations of the mind, and it's only secured when the mind is continuously concentrated in a given direction. 4. Continuous concentration means an even, unbroken flow of thought and is the result of patient, persistent, persevering, and a well-regulated system. 5. Great discoveries are the result of long, continued investigation. The science of mathematics requires years of concentrated effort to master it, and the greatest scientist of the mind is revealed only through concentrated effort. 6. Concentration is much misunderstood. There seems to be an idea of effort or activity associated with it, when just the contrary is necessary. The greatness of an actor lies in the fact that he forgets him or herself in the portrayal of his or her character, becoming so identified with it that the audience is swayed by the realism of the performance. This will give you a good idea of true concentration. You should be so interested in your thought, so engrossed in your subject, as to be conscious of nothing else. Such concentration leads to intuitive perception and immediate insight into the nature of the object concentrated upon. 7. All knowledge is the result of concentration of this kind. It is thus that the secrets of heaven and earth have been wrested. It is thus that the mind becomes a magnet and the desire to know draws the knowledge. Irresistibly attracts it, makes it our own. 8. Desire is largely subconscious. Conscious desire rarely realizes its object when the latter is out of immediate reach. Subconscious desire arouses the latent faculties of the mind, and difficult problems seem to solve themselves. 9. The subconscious mind may be aroused and brought into action in any direction and made to serve us for any purpose by concentration. The practice of concentration requires the control of the physical, mental, and physical being. Control of the physical, mental, and physical being. All modes of consciousness, whether physical, mental, or physical, must be under control. Interesting. 10. Spiritual truth is therefore the controlling factor. It is This, which will enable you to grow out of limited attainment and reach a point where you will be able to translate modes of thought into character and consciousness. 11. Concentration does not mean mere thinking of thoughts, but the transmutation of these thoughts into practical values. And the average person has no conception of the meaning of concentration. There's always the cry to have, but never the cry to be. They fail to understand that they cannot have one without the other, that they must first find the kingdom before they can have things added. Momentary enthusiasm is of no value. It is only with unbounded self-confidence that the goal is reached. 12. The mind may place the ideal a little too high and fall short of the mark. It may attempt to soar on untrained wings and instead of flying fall to earth, but that is no reason for not making another attempt. 13. Weakness is the only barrier to mental attainment. Attribute your weakness to physical limitations or mental uncertainties and try again. Ease and perfection are gained by repetition. 14. The astronomer centers his mind on the stars and they give forth their secrets. The geologist centers his mind on the concentration of the earth and we have geology. So with all things, men center their minds on the problems of life and the result is apparent in the vast and complex social order of the day. 15. All mental discovery and attainment are the result of desire plus concentration. Desire is the strongest mode of action. The more persistent the desire, the more authoritative the revelation. Desire added to concentration will wrench any secret from nature. 16. In realizing great thoughts and experiencing great emotions that correspond with great thoughts, the mind is in a state where it appreciates the value of higher things. 17. The intensity of one moment's earnest concentration, and the intense longing to become and to attain may take you further than years of slow, normal, and forced effort. It will unfasten the prison bars of unbelief, weakness, impotence, and self-belittlement, and you will come into a realization of the joy of overcoming. 18. The spirit of initiative and originality is developed through persistence and continuity of mental effort. Business teaches the value of concentration and encourages decision of character. It develops practical insight and quickness of conclusion. The mental element in every commercial pursuit is dominant as the controlling factor, and desire is the predominating force. All commercial relations are the externalization of desire. 19. Many of the sturdy and substantial virtues are developed in commercial employment, and the mind is steadied and directed. It becomes efficient. The principal necessity is the strengthening of the mind so that it rises superior to the distractions and wayward impulses of instinctive life, and thus successfully overcomes in the conflict between the higher and lower self. 20. All of us are dynamos, but the dynamo of itself is nothing. The mind must work the dynamo, then it is useful, and its energy can be definitely concentrated. The mind is an engine whose power is undreamed. Thought is an omni-working power. It is the ruler and creator of all form and all events occurring in form. Physical energy is nothing in comparison with the omnipotence of thought, because thought enables man to harness all other natural power. 21. Vibration is the action of thought. It is vibration which reaches out and attracts the material necessary to construct and build. There is nothing mysterious concerning the power of thought. Concentration simply implies that consciousness can be focalized to the point where it becomes identified with the object of its attention. As food absorbed is the essence of the body, so the mind absorbs the object of its attention, gives it life and being. 22. If you concentrate on some matter of importance, the intuitive power will set in operation, and help will come in the nature of information which will lead to success.